Welcome to the Biz Builders Podcast, where we believe building the business of your dreams can change your life. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former teacher turned certified life and business coach. After 14 years of teaching, I took a huge leap, left my job, and built 2 successful businesses with no business or sales background. Now I'm living the life of my dreams, and I'm ready to help you do the same. You're in the right spot here if you're ready to dig into not only the strategy of business building, but also the belief in yourself that building a business is possible. You're made for this, and you've got exactly what it takes to create the financial, time, and location freedom you're craving. Over here, we value progress over perfection. We embrace being uncomfortable, and we believe that anything, literally anything you want, is possible for you with the right strategy, mindset, and support. You'll also hear inspiring stories here and, of course, failures of women who are doing the same thing. The whole idea is if she can do it, so can I. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I am so excited like always, but I'm extra excited today because I have a very special guest with us today. Mariah is here from Mariah Makes It Happen. Welcome.
Hey, so happy to be here.
I was literally just telling Mariah, I'm like a little bit fangirling right now because she is somebody that I have been following for a long time on Instagram. And we're going to get into this in like our stories and all of that stuff. But you were a person that I would, in the very early phases of my business, I think I landed on you. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like she's amazing. Like she has it all together. Like I want to be her when I, grow up. And I know that you're nodding your head, but I want you to know that I'm super excited to have you. And I'm excited that you're here to share your story too, because around here we talk all about the perfection and the people pleasing and all of that stuff. So it's a hot topic over here. So Mariah is a new author, a business coach, and a tough love hype girl. And Mariah, if it's okay, are you okay if I read your Instagram bio? Because I freaking love it.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so it says she's a bossy ADHD girl's girl with 3 kids and 0 chill. People pleasers on the brink of losing their minds love her and make more money. So welcome to the podcast, Mariah.
Thank you so much for having me. When I got your email form, It was so cute. It was such a shoot your shot vibe. And I was like, let's go for it. It's always so funny to me when people think that I have it together and all of this stuff. And I mean, I'm glad that my Instagram has given off that vibe, but super normal over here. Currently have a toddler refusing to nap, 2 that are sleeping, and just, regular things, trying to make it happen.
Yeah, we just go with the flow. And I don't even know, I mean, I get that a lot too. Like, how do you have it all together? And I'm like, oh, good, like, girl, I'm trying to figure my life out day by day here, right? But I think what stands out and what resonates for me with you especially is just your authenticity in how you show up, in what you do. I mean, I'll let you tell your story, but I know that you essentially burned down a business that was not values aligned for you anymore. So why don't you introduce yourself too? What do you want to tell us about you?
Okay, so yeah, pretty much those are the highlights. I was a teacher. That feels like a lifetime ago at this point. It was so long ago, in air quotes, it was 5 years? But I just feel like a completely different person since then. When I was a teacher, I did build up my first business to multi-6 figures, and I was, creating resources and workshops and leading conferences and doing all these things for teachers. And the further I kind of got from that decision to leave the classroom, the less connected I felt to the niche. And like you said, authenticity and showing up just as myself is really important to me. And it felt disingenuous almost to be showing up and supporting teachers and speaking to the pain points and the transformations and everything related to teaching when I wasn't doing it anymore. It just felt there was a misalignment there where I felt like I was being fraudulent or, not walking the walk that I'm talking and all this stuff. So a bunch of things happened that kept kind of pushing me further and further away from that business, and I was super done. There was kind of a final straw that, I talk about more in my book. That would be a whole separate podcast issue. Yeah. But I got to a point where I was ready to just completely shut it down and walk away. And my husband was actually the one who said, we cannot do that. We do have a mortgage. You do, contribute 50-50, and we can't just all of a sudden not have you working. And my ADHD, which was undiagnosed at the time, was like, nope, hate it, I'm out. Like, we're not doing this anymore. Couldn't possibly force myself to do something I didn't want to do. But, whatever. He's so logical, and that was a pretty reasonable suggestion. So I did keep that business going while I pivoted into coaching and ran the two side by side for about a year, and then officially closed down the other business once we were really comfortable with me having a brand new business, essentially, and changed everything over, and away we go. So it's been a couple years now, and there's been so many iterations of this business, which is fun because my other business was so established and limited, therefore, because it had so much brand recognition, and I had very specific customers and very specific visuals and all of that. But starting a new business allowed me to play a lot more, and I've had so many different versions of my offer suite and my brand until I got to this point where I do feel really secure, really, established and happy with everything that's going on. But it was a really fun experience for me because obviously I love talking about business. That's why I'm a business coach. So being able to go through it myself and play with all the things and all the strategies that I like to talk about was just the best.
Yes. And creating a business that's aligned with what you want to talk about and like what you want to do. And I don't know if you knew this, but I was actually a teacher too. So I left the classroom in 2021, 22, I don't know, one of those years. And it's the same thing. Like I built a business, same thing, when I was getting ready to leave the classroom. And I knew it wasn't necessarily going to be like my forever thing, but it was something, again, to pay the mortgage, pay the bills, like do the thing until, we figure out what it is that we want. But I think people want to know that right away. Like they want to come out of the gate like, I want to know it. I want to have it figured out. I want to have my offer suite all dialed in. But it's like, you get to play, you get to figure that out along the way. And that comes with the messy action and figuring it out as you go, building, what is that saying? Like building the plane as you learn to fly it or something like that. Yeah. So you had just mentioned something too, and I just bring this up because I think it's super prevalent, running a business with ADHD. How does that work for you?
Yeah, so I didn't know I had ADHD until March of this year. So it's pretty recent. And honestly, it wasn't even on my radar until about, I would say, January. Truly, it was not on my radar at all, just because I grew up as the good girl who did well in school and who got good grades and, didn't get in trouble, and there couldn't possibly be anything wrong with me. So I always knew I had pretty bad anxiety, and I've been medicated for that for years at this point. And really, I have to give credit to the algorithm, which is not something I love doing, but I really feel like the algorithm is what started opening my eyes up to the fact that I have ADHD, because I guess subconsciously I was spending more time with content that was resonating with me, which was about other women with ADHD and the kind of unknown symptoms and ways that it shows up as a woman with ADHD, and all the things I was like, wait, that's not normal. Wait, that's not. But that's what I do, and that's what this. So that was really eye-opening for me. Then I hosted a retreat with my clients, and we've got confirmed ADHD girlies in there. Like, we're an ADHD club, pretty much, either diagnosed or like we're pretty sure type vibe. And it was the first time I had spent an extended period of time with people that I knew had ADHD and some that didn't. And it was just so obvious when you were looking at the activity levels where, me and my really good friend Kat, who also has ADHD, we're sitting there and we're like bouncing around and we're doing all these things and we're like squirrels. And then the other people can just sit there and watch the movie and be chilling. And so that's a more classic example. But then I started looking into it more and realizing that anxiety is actually often a result of ADHD. So a lot of the time women who have ADHD first are treated for anxiety, and I was already on the check mark list of medications you took for that. And so I decided I would be evaluated and kind of go through the process, which was very expensive. But I also knew that if I didn't, I was just going to gaslight myself forever into saying, well, I don't really have it. I did the evaluation. It was hours long of just sitting there and talking to someone about everything you're horrible at. And I cried in the middle of it because I just felt so bad. And then, yeah, sure enough, they're like, yeah, there's a 98% chance that you have ADHD. So I was like, I'll take it. So after that, I haven't really noticed significant changes in my business because I think it's made me a really strong business owner because I love problem solving. I love bopping around to different projects. I always like creative thinking and thinking about new things, and I get really excited about things, and all of that are great ADHD traits. And now that I know, I'm able to support myself a lot better with the things that I don't love. Like, I avoid my inbox like it is my actual job. I have 5 emails in there right now that will probably take me 2 minutes to reply to, but I am so worked up over them that I cannot even look at them. And they're not bad emails. It's literally like someone asking me a question that I might have to look up because I don't instantly know the answer.
Yeah.
But now I know that about myself. I know it's my ADHD. I know that I need to do, more Pomodoro productivity or whatever it is. So in that way, it's been a little bit more supportive and a little bit more kind to myself. But I mean, I don't really know how it's affected me as a business owner because I've just always had it and I've never been a business owner without.
Yeah. And I think people are talking about it more. And I know like a lot of my clients, like they get boxed into thinking that there's like a way to do it. And like, I got to do it the right way. But really, I mean, what you're basically saying, right, is like, you get to do it however the F you want. Like you get to do whatever, build it, do it, address it however you want. And that's the beauty in business ownership, right?
Totally. That's something we talk about all the time, is that there's no shoulds in your business. I'm going to give you different ideas, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it. It's not the law. If you don't like the idea, then there's 17 other ideas that we can come up with that are going to serve you better. And that's just the way that it goes. Just figuring out what works for you, what lands for your clients, and what really works for the direction that you want to take your business. The girl I was when I started my business was single and had no hobbies because I was a workaholic, hyper fixated on my business. And like now I have 3 kids who were born less than 2 years apart. It's a completely different world, right? So I'm a completely different business owner than I was back then. Different work habits, different like realities, different goals, just everything changes throughout your life, and your business is there to do the same.
Absolutely. I think too, like I know a lot of the women that I work with get caught up in this idea that like it has to, like the perfection part of it, that it has to look a certain way or be a certain way, or I have to come, again, like I said, out of the gate, perfectly, but really bringing the process to the process is the journey essentially, right? Like that's the goal and the prize is figuring all of these things out as we go. So, and you just mentioned this too, like being a mom too, and being like, do you work from home primarily, correct? Yeah, that's a whole other like layer that we add on to this. It's like, how do you do it? How do you do it all?
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, you just do it.
You don't do it all. I have childcare now, but for a while there, I was primary caregiver all the time for my 3 kids, and trying to do my business at 5 a.m. overlapping naps and late at night. And kudos to everyone still in that season, because that was a really hard one for sure. It's doable, but it is hard. And
it's hard.
Yeah, on the one hand, I loved running a business when I had newborns because it connected me back to a different side of myself and helped me kind of get out of that all-consuming phase of life. But on the other hand, there would be days where I couldn't help but wonder, like, wow, imagine if when my kids went for nap, I literally could just clean the house. Or I could just sit down and watch a show. But instead, when my kids go for nap, I'm rushing down to try and get some work done. And so there is that push and pull of, this is everything I want it to be, and it's hard. And both those things get to be true. And you get to have space for, whatever that means to you, and however much you do want to work. And not worrying about perfection just kind of comes with forced reps, I feel. Like, you don't have a choice, you just have to put stuff up there if you want to be growing, and waiting for your perfect Instagram carousel to be ready is not the vibe.
Not the vibe for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you, so you have mentioned a couple times too, the people pleasing like part of life and business. And, I resonate when you said like, I was a good girl. I, followed the rules and got the good grades and like, all of that stuff. So Tell me a little bit about, if you're open to sharing, what the people-pleasing part, because again, the authenticity that you exude just in any space that you show up in, it seems like, well, she's not a people pleaser. Like, she doesn't care. Like, she's just her. So how's that
Yeah.
journey been for you?
Totally. It's a huge thing that I talk about in my book because I also didn't see it in myself until I started writing. I feel like writing this book is what changed my life because it made me go to therapy because I was like, oh, we better be unpacking this trauma I'm allegedly writing about.
Yeah.
And really, figuring out so much about myself because I never resonated with the word perfectionist, for example. I was like, I am not a perfectionist. I am a scrappy, I have way too much confidence in myself for any DIY project. I will put out the scrappiest version. I couldn't possibly reread something. It's so boring. So I would not identify as like a perfectionist. But then in therapy, my therapist was like, what are you talking about? You're absolutely a perfectionist, but just in ways that I didn't associate it. So I'm a perfectionist when it comes to social interactions. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to always say the right thing, be perceived the right way. And I'm very, very self-critical and hard on myself in social settings.
Yeah.
And that's due to a variety of things that have happened in my life that make it really hard for me to not take things super personally and rejection sensitivity and all that good stuff. But that is hard for sure. And I mean, when I started my business, I was in the teacher niche, which, and teachers are under so much pressure and so much scrutiny to behave certain ways in all aspects of their life. How you show up online, what bathing suit you wear to the beach, what you are doing what you're buying when you're at the grocery store and your students see you. There's just such an elevated standard and expectation on teachers that is where I essentially grew up as a business owner. And that's the lens I was living through. And I did, say some uncomfy things because I just couldn't handle all of this pressure and all of this. It felt like hypocrisy to me to be having to put up these, perfect classrooms and centers and blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, I am barely surviving as a teacher because I'm dealing with classroom evacuations every day and whatever it was. So I just learned almost through desperation of looking for my own connection that honesty was what was actually bringing people into me because it might not have been what they wanted to hear or see or what was cool or trendy, but if I was feeling it, they were feeling it too, is kind of what I realized. So I took the pressure off myself to say what I thought they wanted to hear and just said what I was thinking, and it ended up being what they wanted to hear because like I said, I was in it with them, right? Like I was in the trenches, I was there, I was experiencing it, all of that was easy. So it's definitely taken me a while to get here. And, for a while, there was that whole trend of like spicy opinions. You have to like be so controversial on Reels or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is my nightmare. Why would I go out of my way to antagonize people? Like that is truly horrific to me to think that someone would be mad at me. But ultimately, I just don't see my business in that way anymore, in my personal life for sure. And I will always be second guessing if everyone's mad at me and no one wants to be my friend for real. But I feel very comfortable in, what I want to come from my online social media presence and what I want people to feel and experience when they're with me, that it's so solid now that I don't worry about it because I don't know. It's been tested. It's been out there. It's been me. I'm going to attract the right people and repel the others. And I'm okay with that because I've worked through a lot of those like scarcity issues of where's my next client coming from and what if they don't like me and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I don't have an answer because I definitely still am, but I guess I've compartmentalized where it's not really in my business.
No, it's so good. That answer is so good. And what stands out to me too is like when you're talking about how like I didn't identify as a perfectionist. Like I could care less. Like there's dishes in my sink and there's this and that, but there's other ways that it comes in. And you've essentially like turned that into a positive thing for your business and pulling in, like you said, the right people and just simply being you. But there are a lot of underlying things that you do have to work through, either in therapy or coaching or whatever it is, writing a book, like whatever that looks like, to get there. And it's just, yeah, it's a journey. I don't think there's ever like an end point in any of this, in like self-development, in business and whatever. It's just, we just keep moving and going and having fun along the way the best that we can, right?
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like it's two people. My online business persona and who I am as a coach is so different than how I am in my personal life. Not so different, I guess. You wouldn't meet me and be surprised by my personality, but I would never post a dancing reel on my personal Instagram. Can you? I would die if I posted a dancing reel on my personal Instagram account. That is never going to happen. I barely post there literally ever. I think my last post was weeks and weeks ago, only because I forced myself to. I never post there. But meanwhile, on Instagram, I'm bopping around every single day on my business account. I would post 17 reels a day if I could, and I'm fine to be doing all of the ridiculous trends, and I don't care how many likes there are and all these things. So it's like the people who know me in quote real life, I just carry it differently, and I don't know what it is about it, but it's so different.
That's very interesting, because I actually have the opposite. I will do like the stupidest shit on my personal page, and the dancing and the this and the that, and like post like all this like stuff on there. But in my business one, I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that like it's
professional.
Yeah. And that, I mean, looking at my presence now today versus a year ago, I mean, we've come a long way, like, but there's still work to do. I mean, there's always still work to do, right? And it's like, why can't we just be us in all areas of our life? Like, this is me unapologetically. This is authentically who I am and what I think and how I act and the things that I say. And I am like, very much like very, very smart, but also very, very ditzy. And there's so many dualities to who we are as women. I think that gets to be a part of our brand. It gets to be a part of our businesses. It gets to be a part of our coaching, our relationships, our personal and business Instagram accounts. Like, that just gets to be.
Yeah, that's so funny that it's opposite for you, because for me, if someone I know in real life follows me on my business page, I'm like, oh my gosh, get out of here. Like, get out of here. You're not my ideal client. You do not belong. You do not need to know what goes on on my grid. Like, this is get out. I don't want you to know about anything. But I don't know. Like, do you like posting about your business on your personal then? Do you feel comfortable with that?
I never post about my business, but I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm currently in this like place of like, how do I bring these two things together? Because they're both very me. I love my business, and I also love being a mom, and I also love, what I do outside of my business. And I also love, my friends and being silly, and I love my clients, and I love the work that we do. So like, how do I bring this all together and merge this as like, this is just me, this is what you get. So I used to have that though, when personal people would follow my business account, I would be like, oh God, like, kick rocks, like, get out of here. Same thing that you said, but I've realized now that those people are also like, I can help them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I cutting myself off? And I think it's because, in a lot of reflection, I think it's because as we're taught as coaches, right, that you are the like professional and the leader and the like whatever, like you're the person that's like, you're the professional. But I'm like, wait, I'm just me, like, and I can help you. So why am I like blocking myself from essentially doing that? So when I started to open it up, I mean, I've coached people. I have clients that are like, that I go see them and we have lunch and drink mimosas and coach. And what they're doing is incredible, and they're getting incredible results. And had I not started to bridge that gap, that might not have been a thing. So just thoughts.
Totally makes sense. I think it's great. I think that I force my clients to lean into their personal network. Yeah. And I do it now too, where even if your post on your personal page is literally just like, I haven't posted in a long time about anything other than, my kids and family life. And I am proud of myself. And here's what I'm doing these days. And if you know anyone who needs a brand photographer, or anyone who needs a sleep coach, whatever it is, like, this is what I'm doing. Because really the only way that you're going to grow in this super challenging market right now is not the only way, but one of the most effective ways right now is through referrals and that referral network that you're building up and becoming and staying top of mind for people. And oftentimes referrals are just coming from people who think of you when someone's talking about it. And if you are not reminding them about what you're doing and what differentiates you and all of the things, it's really, really hard to expect them to magically recall the one time they saw this one post about something that you did and bring that up, right? That's so much labor for them. So keeping it top of mind and making sure that as many people as possible know about all the amazing things that you're doing, like that's so good.
And I think that even comes with, part of that comes with moving through, like owning what it is that you do. Because I know a lot of my clients, when they come to me too, they're like, almost like tiptoeing around what it is that they do, and like, oh, like, okay, I'll post about it, but I won't tell people about it, or I'll tell like my mom about it, but I'm not gonna like, you know, go outside of that. It's like, no, we got to start owning what it is that you do and set that like people pleasing perfection piece aside, that like it doesn't have to sound perfect, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to know that you can help someone in this way that you want to help them, and then start talking about it and talk about it until you're blue in the face, until you feel like you're rolling your eyes at yourself like you've heard it so many times, because they're not hearing it every time.
No, and I say this all the time too, like you are thinking about your business 24/7. Other people are thinking about your business for the 2.47 seconds that they saw your post, and then they have moved on with their day and they're literally not thinking about it again. Absolutely. If you feel like you're emailing too much and someone got an email in your inbox from you and they didn't want to open it, I promise you they just deleted it. Like they were not like, oh my gosh, Sandy emailed me again. No, they just deleted it and we moved on. Like they're fine. They are fine. We're not bothering people. I think another thing is like you have to be your number one champion and your biggest cheerleader, because if you don't believe in your business, then why would anyone else? Like we cannot be expecting people to be wanting to invest in things if you yourself wouldn't invest in them. And a lot of it, I think, also comes down to women struggle with feeling like they're bragging. And they don't want to come across as conceited. And, you know, it's, even if you think about, if you've had children and you're listening and you posted a pregnancy announcement, you got like hundreds of likes on it. But then you posted, you know, that you ran a marathon and there was like 20. Or you shared about your business and there was like 5. So we are just being subconsciously and consciously conditioned to feel comfortable sharing the things that we know are going to get the higher like thing, as long as, you know, as much as we don't want to say that, that's human. And so we're being conditioned to share the things that we think people are going to accept and love from us. And a lot of the time that is like pregnancy announcements and engagement announcements, and here are my wedding photos, and the more traditional gender role things, which, I mean, I have nothing against any of that. Love all of that. Love those posts. Love it all. But it is hard then when you go to talk about your business and it seems like no one cares, but you still should do it.
It's doing, you know? It's doing that over and over and over and over again until, just like you said, like it does not matter. Like I'll post shit and like it gets nothing, and I'm like, I don't even think twice about it. Like I don't even care. And what I tell my clients too all the time is, I'm like, when you step into that power and you own what you do, and you are your biggest cheerleader, and you are like bragging essentially about what it is that you do, you're giving other women permission to do the same.
Oh my gosh, I literally said that exact same thing the other day, where I was like, you know why it's so important to talk about wins? Because then you will also talk about your wins. Like we need it modeled for us. We need to see other people doing it so that we know it's okay and that it becomes normalized to be talking about. And a lot of people struggle with sharing, you know, testimonials, or they struggle with sharing a certification they just got. And they're like, well, how do I do that? I'm like, you just tell people, I did this. I'm proud of myself. Like it's not as hard as we're making it up to be. It's not as nuanced as we're making it out to be. It is truly just uncomfortable, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Just like when you're scared of something, it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means it's different. So your brain's like, oh, this is different. But we still do it, and then you realize that it was a good choice.
Yeah, but did you die? I tell them
Exactly.
that too. Like, I'm like, you can feel fear and you can still move. Like, it's okay to feel that.
Yeah.
You can feel it and also you can take the step
Mm-hmm.
and do the little thing, just
100%.
the small step. Yeah, the small step. Okay, so one more question before we start to wrap it up. So, what is your like secret sauce? Like, brag about you for a bit here. I want to hear like what you do with your clients and what like how you help your clients build profitable businesses and help them make money and help them own, what they do.
Mm-hmm. So for a long time when I was a baby coach, I was like, I need a framework. I need a framework. I went to all these master classes on frameworks. I was like, I need
Yeah,
a
yeah.
signature method. I need something that I can speak to because what I'm doing is too hard to explain to people because we work on so many different things. And I was really hung up on this. And I spent a lot
Mm-hmm.
of time trying to figure out my signature framework and what I was going to be
Mm-hmm.
known for, my 3-step process, whatever it is. Spoiler alert, she doesn't have one. So I don't have anything cool or concise to talk about in that way. What I do is, it sounds so lame because it's my handle, but like what I do is make it happen because I can read between the lines and I can pick up on my client's energy so freaking fast that I
Mm-hmm.
know what they actually want and what they're not doing. And the amount of people who have come to me with one business that's doing okay, and then they
Mm-hmm.
pivot into a brand new business, brand new offer suite, brand new whatever it is, and then that business takes off is so much more common than you'd think because I'm so good at sniffing out what it is you really want to be doing and how to get you there. And I
Yeah.
do not believe within a fiber of my being that there is only one way to do things. And one of my ADHD superpowers is I can think of a million ideas on the spot for you. And I'm hyper fixated on all my clients' businesses. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
me feeling the need to be changing up my offers and my branding and my ideas and my marketing things all the time, I channel it into them. And I'm messaging them at 5 a.m. being like, oh my gosh, I just thought of this thing for your business. Here you go. You should go and do this. Or have you considered this angle? I just thought of this brand new offer that would be so good for you. Because I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
change anything about my own business, but I still have all of this energy for
Yeah.
new strategy and new ideas and new this and new that and the other. And
Yeah.
so I think that is one of my favorite things about my brain and how I work. But really, I'm a bit bossy too. I get told that,
Mm-hmm.
but the people who come to me, they want to be bossed around. Like they're tired of trying to
Yep.
figure it out. They have decision
Mm-hmm.
fatigue. Maybe they're moms. Maybe they're also working another job. Whatever it is, they don't want someone who's going to sit there and put it back on them and say, well, what do you think your marketing strategy should be for this? They want me to
Mm-hmm.
come in and say, well, here's what worked last time. Here's what we know about your people in this offer. Here's what we know about all the things that are going on in your business. Therefore, this is the best path forward. And if they hate it, I'm like, okay, fine, then let's do this other thing.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
can work within gut checks and figuring out what's going to happen, but there's no wasting time. Like there's so
Yeah.
much momentum and action that comes from my clients that it's really, yeah, it's really, there's a lot of change that happens, and I'm very proud of that. How at the end people can say, "Wow, I can't believe how much more confident I am than I was 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe how much has changed for me or how I see my business or, whatever it is." So yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
do. That's my
I
thing.
love it. That's amazing. That's awesome. I love that you're like, I'm like a hound. I can sniff it out. I know.
Yeah.
When people are doing something that's not values aligned, whether it's their business as a whole or something else. Do a lot of your clients pivot? Is that why they come to
Mhm.
you? Because they want to
Yeah,
pivot?
whether they know it or not. And like sometimes the pivot is not as big or crazy as, okay, I'm switching from this business to a complete 180. But I do believe that for the most part, when someone is signing up for coaching, it's because something's not working. You're not signing up for
Mhm.
coaching because you're like, my business is perfect. I have
Right.
nothing to change. I
Yeah.
am good to
Yeah.
go. I like it all. You're signing up for
Yeah.
coaching because something's not working, whether it's a
Yeah.
messaging thing, whether it's your offers are not working, whether you just feel like you're working too much and you're not making enough money. There is something in there that needs to change. And that change really is going to come down to a pivot in whatever kind of scale that is. And
Yeah.
sometimes people come in and they're so burnt out and so defeated they don't see any paths forward. I had a client tell me that who just started with me a month ago, where it's actually a team, and they were saying, we had tried everything we could think of, and we did not see a single positive outcome for us. And just within 2 weeks of working with me, all of a sudden they were like, we hear your voice in our head now. And we're thinking, well, why do we have to do it that way just because we've always done it that way? And why can't we try this other thing? And why don't we do this? And it's really opening up the possibilities that you absolutely can have the business that you want. You absolutely can. And we just have to figure out what that is and then build it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. And what you said too resonated with me, because I remember being in that same spot at one point where I would go into like, like a coaching container as the client. And I would be like, I just need someone to tell me what to do. Like, I need someone to tell me what's worked for them. I need someone to like, just tell me what to do and I'll freaking do it. Like, just go. And I think that's part of too, what makes my coaching different too than a lot of other coaches, because like you said, like sometimes, yes, there's a great time for the questions and what do you want it to look like and but like sometimes it's like, let's just freaking go. Like, tell me what to do and I will do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah, totally agree.
Well, Mariah, thank you so much for being here today. Why don't you share a little bit about where we can find you, where people can find you and what you've got going on right now?
Yeah, so you can find me. I'm most active on Instagram. Like I said, I'm obsessed with Instagram. I would post 17 reels a day if I had my way. I'm learning to love Threads too. I go through seasons where I'm all in on Threads, and then sometimes I just forget to post on there, whatever. But either way, both of those platforms, I'm Mariah Makes It Happen. You can check out my website, mariahscrivens.com. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I just redid it, and it's so good and so cute. Everyone go look at it and compliment me because it's extremely adorable.
It's so yeah,
thank you.
So good. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I really love it. I feel like it's taken me years to get to the point where I actually like my website. It's just the biggest hurdle for me. So we made it. We're here. We love the website. And on the website, there's all the good stuff, contact forms, freebies, and most excitingly, you can get my book. So I have a memoir that is really documenting my journey of people pleasing and moving from that extreme distrust in myself and what I wanted, and moving into a season of life where I feel really confident, I feel really good, and the steps along the way that got me there with friendship breakups and actual breakups and having kids and all of the things that just happen throughout life told in a really raw and honest way. And I mean, I think it's hilarious. So definitely scoop that up.
Yes,
yeah, it's a good one.
Can you order it? Okay. So where is that going to be available?
It's going to be available on a bunch of different places. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it through local it's on like 40,000. It's going to be on 40,000, retailers and all these things. So if you just go to mariahscrivens.com/book, then you'll have a couple different options there on how to grab it.
Oh, cool. Yes. And we'll put all the links in the show notes for people to go click easily and find you. But I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be here and share your amazingness and your goodness. This was so much fun for me. And I know that everybody's going to love this conversation. There's so much good stuff in here. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. And I mean, I love listening in on conversations like this. Like we always say around here, nosy girls want to know. Nosy girls want to know. Yep, so don't be a stranger. Anyone listening, you yourself, my DMs are always open. I'm an open book and I'm always happy to chat. Business, strategy, life, whatever it is, the latest Netflix show, just message me.
Oh my God, I love it. Thank you, Mariah. Bye, you guys.
Welcome.
Thanks for listening, you guys. If you're ready to get your business going and making money and to step into that next level version of you, I would love to support you make that happen through strategy, mindset work, and my Cut the BS style coaching, because it's always better, quicker, and more fun to have someone who's already been through it support you. Shoot me a message over on Instagram with the word ready and we can chat and get your questions answered about coaching and how I can support you. I cannot wait to hear from you.